Hello, welcome to the Full Circle Podcast. This is the first one of the day in the world.
What's good, dude? So, I finally got my fucking band on one, guys. And, this is a special moment because this is the kitchen, the home that we recorded our first album in. Well, since I joined the group.
Maybe Lab.
And, and we're leaving this bitch, man. So we're having one last jam tomorrow. And we just wanted to have a farewell convo, so how the fuck are you guys feeling?
Fucking sweet. Awesome.
You
Ecstatic.
excited? You excited for tomorrow?
Yes.
Todd's pretty
Okay.
soft and
I'm
cuddly.
adequately happy for tomorrow.
It's a
Adequately.
high level for Todd.
All right, well, let's get it
Yeah,
started.
my
Since
speech impediment came out.
Todd's hype right now. So
not hype at all.
Tell the people who you are, man. What do you do in this band?
Todd's so
He
hyped.
has no idea.
My name's Todd. I play bass and keep these guys from killing each other and call Tom a bird because he's a fucking bird.
That's pretty accurate, yeah.
What do you do in this band?
I have no idea.
Ruins
I don't even know
everything.
why I'm here.
He just got long hair. That's about all he
It's
does.
mostly the looks, I think. And I guess the voice. Tom, what do you do here?
I write their lines.
Yes.
Am I
Anything
doing
funny
the
we say.
Yeah,
It's
am I
Tom.
doing a good job so far? Are they killing it?
You should try rewriting.
I don't know. I got to check over my OCD. Fucking, So we've been in the band for like 3 or 4 years now. I was the last member.
Way longer than that.
Todd's been doing this shit.
Like
I always say 3, 4 years.
5
I don't know.
years, almost 6.
4.
5 to that.
An adequate
Conor
number of years
McGregor,
we've been
Conor
doing
McGregor,
this.
Nate Diaz was
Oh
March
my
of
God,
2016.
he knows by the fights.
But I'm right. That's 2016 is now
Is that the word of the
2021.
day?
Adequate.
All right,
5 years.
So I've been in the band for like 5 years, and they were a band for I think for what,
Five years
years
before then.
before that. So the Only Way has been a thing for 10 years.
And even longer than that, really.
Todd since high school. So Todd, what? Don't kill bugs, bro. That's my auntie, dude.
Damn.
My auntie.
So what was your inspiration for the Only Way? Because everyone loves this fucking name.
Except for me. I hated this name.
Well,
love
no one
this
fucking
name.
cares about what your opinion
That's
is, Derek.
facts.
Just
I
have
didn't-
long
I
hair and
didn't ask
sing and
you
shut
to
up.
be fair.
I don't know.
So what? How did you come up with the Only Way? Was it? Did you have another name before it?
Yeah, we had back when I started, we called it the Transits, like the bus.
The Transits?
Yes.
Oh, that's trash. Sorry.
That was the most cliche podcast. Oh, that's trash. Fucking goddamn it.
I
That was a
surprisingly
bad,
liked
it's a bad comeback. But
Chicago
yeah.
Transit Authority.
the Only Way
Anyway.
is fire, is what I'm saying.
Definitely.
So,
I
so
agree
how did
with
it
that.
switch to the Only Way from the Transits?
Well,
to give the real story.
the real story. There's the real story. Then there's the story I'm going with as an adult.
I like that story you go with.
What's the story that you go
The
with?
real story or the
go with.
the go with story?
Yeah.
It's just my philosophy in life. It's the only way.
Yeah, when I joined the band, I didn't realize how many times we say that every day.
So that's like I said, I didn't like it in the beginning when I first joined the band. Like Todd had already had something.
No one
going
liked him
with
when
a
he joined
couple
the
of
band.
people, and then I just joined in, and I was like, this is not gonna fly, and I wasn't a fan of it up until we ended up playing a show, and like somebody walks in through the back of the room, and they're just like, it's the only fucking way, and
Dude, people love screaming that.
I literally
They
just turn
scream that
around and I
shit.
go, all right, I like it.
Yeah, it's fire.
It took that moment, and then literally since then, it has been a part of every sector of my life in
Yeah.
one way or another.
Dude, we hear it every day.
It's become subliminal, and I think it's so funny just because of how it's like morphed into my own head now.
Mm-hmm. I was when I was in Carolina a couple weeks ago. I took a walk, and this like 75-year-old guy from New York, and we were just talking about the band. And when he was like, "What's the name of your band?" That's always the question that I get excited because the Only Way, because I want to see the reaction. He's like, everyone does that head nod, like, "All right, the Only Way. What the fuck is that about?" No one knows what it's about, and it's perfect because it's every fucking thing. So
This is
so-
a very adequate name.
yeah, it's dope as
You
fuck.
in this adequacy. Like,
So how long was it the Only Way before Tom came?
Years.
it was the only
Years.
way before I showed up.
Oh, it was. So
Yes.
Yeah, Todd already had a band going with a couple other guys, and they were out a singer, and just randomly, so the guitar player hit me up and asked me to come, try
After I was
it out.
really, really drunk, and I said, "Hey, you should call Dara."
Worst
That's-
decision they ever made. So I show
A
up.
resort for Todd.
I show up and like throughout the next like couple months or year, I start throwing people out. I threw the guitar player out, then I threw the drummer out, and then now we have you and Tom, and I think everybody's
We're
okay
one
with
big
that.
happy family. We don't fight or argue at all.
Never. Just like every other family. Very realistic.
So when you joined, how
an
old were
episode
you?
of Sanford
Or like
and
not how old were you? Like
19.
all right, so
19, getting 20.
Yeah. Wow, the 19.
I'm about to be 29.
yeah, so you've
10
been so you guys have been together for 10 years. Mm-hmm. So 5 and then 5.
Yep.
All right, word. Well, we have to erase a year because of COVID.
That was still
Everyone
a year.
can erase a year from everything if they want to because of this year.
Nah, I think that's
I thought
bullshit.
COVID offered, like,
bullshit.
honestly, I feel like this whole thing has just offered an insane amount of, like, just a different perspective, different opportunity.
Yeah, different
and, like,
opportunities,
yeah.
different ways to grow.
And, like,
I've done
honestly-
so much other shit because of
Yeah,
this.
so that's not a year gone. It's a year gained for you.
Yeah,
You've
exactly.
gotten a year better. At
I
everything.
mean, in the sense of performing, because that's what we love. That's our shit.
Well, yeah, of
That's what
course,
I love,
of course,
but,
we
like,
want to
it-
do it, but we got better though, and we wrote more music and
Yeah.
other stuff, and lived. And I think as artists, the fact that we live is probably what ends up coming out in the art. Like even if we were mad nice at like technique and shit, if we didn't like practice or not even practice, if we didn't live and experience highs and lows, I don't think it would be as good or be able to create
We
art.
get stagnant, yeah.
Well, just in general expression. All you guys are so, passionate, especially you two with.
Well, we
Darren
were a
Bucks.
little stagnant right before it, so it's like we had already had a somewhat of a plan to take a step back. So COVID was a good thing, but I just mean in the sense of time. Everybody collectively, everybody had to
feel
take.
like- I feel
Besides sports,
I
sports.
feel like we lost kind of like a bit of a momentum there, just because.
Yeah, we lost momentum because we were playing.
That's
and
it.
people were
playing.
asking us to
We
play.
had like multiple shows that had to get canceled right when this all happened. We were like, things were plucking away. It was right before, a real season. Especially because we're in a summer area. We're in like a tourist area, so like, that was right before.
Doesn't even
things were
feel
about
like
to-
a year went by. Seriously,
Yeah, it doesn't.
It really
I remember-
doesn't.
I still remember last year when it started.
I feel like this is last spring right now.
I still remember
If
when we
that
played
makes
our last
sense.
gig, which was over a year ago, and we played.
Where was
with-
that at?
It was at Anchor Rock Club in Atlantic City. But we played a gig, and the lead singer of the other band's girlfriend at the time was from China, and I like half jokingly but half seriously, we're all sitting there smoking a joint. And I was like, hey, like she's legit from China, like barely spoke English and shit. And I was just like, hey, like, how serious is this disease? Like, I didn't even know corona. Like, what I'm saying, at the time, I didn't know any information. It just was some disease I'm hearing about. And she was like, no, people are dying. Like, I'm sorry for the accent, not trying to be lower, but she was she straight up said people are dying. It's not a joke. Like, it's not funny. She was like, I know people who are dying. And I remember being like, whoa. Like, and then literally a month and a half later, the country was in lockdown.
All right, so now it's been a year from that, and now we're here, where we're leaving this place, which is iconic. We fucking hate it, but we love it. This house breathes in itself. So I want to speak of this house a little bit because that's kind of the whole reason that I decided to have our first podcast convo here, because this is a legendary moment. So going in the circle. If you have a moment, do you have a specific favorite situation that has ever happened here? Like, what's your favorite party, jam, song that you came up with?
It's like impossible.
Recording the
It's too much.
album. I know, but you
I
guys
would-
have time to think.
I
Todd's
would-
on the spot
I would,
first.
I would love for you to like.
I'll go
think this.
first.
I want to hear you think
I can
this out.
think
I
of
wanna
times,
hear-
but there's no way
I'll
I can
go
think of
first.
one.
My favorite one, I'll say, is the first time we jammed when I came with John, because I was in a band,
And
but it
Pete-
wasn't real. It was weird. It was like, I knew that I was going to be the drummer. Like, you guys didn't have a fucking choice. So the fact
was
that we
the
were
only
playing
way.
anyway was what was funny. But John recorded it. John recorded the video, so I was able to watch it back and see your guys' reaction in real time of like, oh, he is our next drummer. Oh, okay, he is. And you can see it in that 2-minute video. So that's my favorite moment because it's the first thing. It's what gelled it. And you guys had the old guitarist here as confirmation. It was just like a weird... You came in disrespectful as hell with an amp this big. He came with a bass amp this fucking big.
It wasn't a bass amp. It was just a.
Whatever
It was my Fender. It was my little Fender amp.
But
I
it
was
fire,
in
and it
between
wasn't even a
amps. What do you
bass
want
amp,
from me,
dude.
Tom?
So that's what I'm saying. So I came in like, dude, I'm the
Sometimes you're in
drummer.
between things.
I forgot all about that.
So that's my favorite fucking moment. What's yours?
I hope it's playing out
Tom,
of
what's
the
your favorite
tiniest
moment?
little
I have to
Fender.
think.
It's too hard.
Or funny anything?
It's too hard.
That's the thing.
Honestly, and like and I feel like I would be selfish in even saying some of the moments because it's like maybe shit that's more.
It's your moment. That's the point. It's your
But even
moment.
that, it's just like there's so many moments, like whether it's individuals with like each one of you, or as a band, like because there's mad times where like
The house.
But that's what I'm saying is there's times where we played by ourselves and all of us either knew it was a new song and we just looked at them and we were just like, yo, we know that's some fire, like that's amazing, like the feeling that us know, whether it's an improvisational jam and we didn't have to say anything, it was just some weird exploratory thing with our souls, whether it was funny times of not playing music. Whether, you know what I'm saying? Like, whether it was the times where we're practicing and, like, we're not even, like we're like, all right, cool, but we have a couple of our friends here that either just fuck with us, like a Josh or Pete, and, like, their energy, and they're like, yo, you guys are awesome, and it, like, makes us grow. Or the random times we had people who don't hear us normally, and they're like, oh, my God, you guys are, like, a real band. Like, and,
It's such a backhanded compliment.
It is, but at the same time, we're used to it, and then it kind of re-energizes us because we could be playing in front of 2 people, but they're in there, and it feels like a concert. But I would say if there's one moment, honestly, even though there's really a million, but the one moment
We got it. See, we just narrowed it down to it.
this was the one moment I was thinking of, but I wasn't trying to be selfish. But it's one with me and Dara is when we were recording our album here, and I remember I was playing, and I was doing Manic, and when I was doing the solo, I walked upstairs and I was just like, "How did it sound?" And everyone was like, "It's cool, you know, like it's good or whatever, not like anything crazy." Like, and I just remember Dara was kind of just like, I don't know, dude. He was just like gave me the classic Dara, just like the like it didn't. Well, you could tell he wasn't quite feeling. He was like, I don't know. It kind of sounds like all over the place, which is fine or whatever. And I was like, all right. I was like, you know. But I remember Todd and Bugs, whatever, was just like, nah, it's cool. And I was like, okay. And like I get real frustrated, like when I'm in recording, like I'll sit there and have to play 50
We
times.
all do.
We all do because we're perfectionists. But like I'll get real frustrated and get mad. So like I remember I'd been doing it, and Todd will be like, nah, it's not good. But Todd was like, nah, it's good. And Bugs was like, nah, it's good. And Bugs also at the time was like challenging me. Or whatever. But I just distinctly remember being like, all right, like whatever. But like feeling like not so hot because Dara wasn't feeling so hot. Remember we came downstairs to smoke the joint. Dara was sitting right down in another room getting ready to do his vocals. And I just remember I came and peeked. And it was the first time he heard me playing it with the actual music. Like not just my guitar, but like with the music. I remember he was just sitting there with his headphones on just smiling. I was like, are you good? And I remember he just looked at me and goes, honestly, bro, I'm just happy to be a part of this. And like that was honestly like, and I remember like, cause it was like a switch. And I was like, so is it good? So, and he was just like, yeah, dude. And, but like, he just like he just completely, it was the complete opposite of what he had just said like 5 minutes ago. And it, like, that's all he had to say.
We're just par for the course of my life.
But it was just a funny moment where it was just like, and just like, you know, it was genuine. Him saying, I'm just, cause it's the same thing. Like
honest, yeah.
when Todd plays a sick
100%
bass riff,
honest.
I'm like, dude, I play with this dude. Like Bugs plays some sick shit or whatever. I'm like, yo, he plays Dara sings or writes or plays. I'm like, yo, like, so it's cool when we're together
So
doing
that's
it
why
like
I'm
that.
talking. That's why, because this house, if it wasn't for this house and you, we wouldn't have been able to capture a lot of those moments. So it's going to be hard for you to pick. But band wise, what's your favorite moment? While you were speaking, you found it, and it's what you were going to say. But
Yeah, that was the one moment.
that's kind of what I
popped up.
mean. Like the reason I picked the first moment is like because I saw you guys decide in real time. Like, all right, he can be annoying
That was
for
a
a
good
little
moment.
while.
That was a good moment too. If just maybe to give you a second of thought, because I like that moment too, because I see the same thing. Because we all knew from your energy, enthusiasm, and the skill you brought, obviously that there was something good. But I liked it too because it was like unmapping of what was to come. Because we saw that. But I remember even like you being like, "This is awesome." Me being like, "Yeah, like we're gonna have to work hard though, bro," and or not even work hard. Like we're gonna like butt heads or whatever. And like it was interesting, just like like seeing how all of it was gonna unfold in our personalities, just looking back on it and seeing the moment and seeing
Because we didn't know each other at all.
We didn't.
None of us had no.
I didn't know you at all.
This is what happened. I hurt my hand at a restaurant. I was out of work for 2.5, 3 months. The day I go back, this kid who I least expected it from was like, "Yo, you're a drummer, right?" I was like, "Yeah," and I had just been saying to the universe, "I need these members to play with." And he's like, "I have this guy who I think is looking for a drummer," talking about Dara. So that night, I was like, give me the link so I can listen to
And
some
he's
of the music.
technically my family.
I listened for 20. That's crazy. I listened for 20 seconds, knew what I wanted. The next day, I was walking home from that job, and Dara was going to pick me up at work at my house, but he was already met me at Wawa. I just knew it was him, and I called his phone, and sure enough, it was Dara at Wawa where we met up. I get in the car, we just go back to my crib, just smoke mad blunts. The next day is when we jam, so I just listened to their songs for a day and kind of played what I remembered, and that's when I told them, like, y'all don't have a choice. 5 days later, we started recording the album. And that first week, we started recording that album. So that's what's crazy to me, is that we did this shit so fucking quick. We did it 2 different locations too. We did it started it at your house, and then we were like, all right, fuck it, let's just bring it here. And that was all within the first 2 weeks of me even knowing you guys. So that's before what you're just saying, the personality shit was even known.
Well, anything.
We didn't know
let
each other
alone-
at all.
We didn't know each
nothing.
other playing or
So
personality.
that's
any
why
of
I
that
love
stuff.
that's why I love that first moment, because we didn't know what the fuck we were getting into as far as being crazy and
Right.
OCD and perfectionists and
Just
all
all
this
kinds
other
of shit.
stuff. And I was never in a band too. I'm a rapper, so I was never in a band. So it was perfect for me to shut the fuck up for a little while. But when the drums aren't playing, I'm not quiet. So I'm sorry about that, guys. I'm not, but go. What's yours?
Should go.
It is really way too difficult.
Probably
for me to-
impossible.
Yeah, for me to pick out one moment, because like there's so many moments that I have.
Yeah.
Like from us, like all right, so honestly probably one of my favorite periods of time was when we really all like Bugs, you jumped in the band, and like Tom, Todd, and I have already been playing for a little bit, and you jumped in the band, and it was already discussed that like you were gonna be thrown into this hellfire and just have to get onslaught with song after song after song. You have to learn every one of these songs because we were already lined up to play a show.
I was ready. I loved it.
And
That's what I was excited for.
we were, and that's the best part. And that's probably like, that was like one of those things. Was the reason why like we were also, comfortable and happy with you being into the band in the first place, is because you had the vision of the same thing that we all envisioned, which was that we want to play. We want to actually like
On stage. That's the goal. Is just be on
like
stage.
when people say, when people joke around, go, "Oh, you guys are like a band." Like, yeah, because like I've seen other people play in bands that aren't bands. Like, yeah,
They're
they
guys
like
that play
it.
music
It's
together.
a side thing. It's
Yeah.
it's something that they just do. Like, this was something that we all wanted 100%. Like, this is something that exists. And I hate to sound corny, but this shit exists deep into all 4 of our souls. That's what I love about it, and being able to just play that music.
That's why we joined without knowing each other.
Exactly. And then it went right into a show. And the show was phenomenal. The show went incredible.
It was an outside barbecue.
That was Wild Bill's Barbecue, man. And it was such an awesome show. We had such a great time. Todd ran the whole sound for the whole place. And it was such a community thing organized. And it was one of my favorite moments, just being able to be like, it's one of my favorite moments in the band with the 4 of you guys, because that was just such a massive thing to happen that we all created.
And we did it ourselves too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we knew that we could do this alone in a barbecue style. And that was the thing too. Like I had been mixing and engineering my shit, but when I met y'all, I had only been mixing my shit for like 2 months. So I knew what I was doing, knew what I wanted, but had no idea how to really add it. So I learned from Todd, we learned from each other, and we were able to form the sound we wanted from the first album that we got.
I think that was the biggest thing too, is the fact that we're even still here 5 years later with you.
Yeah.
That we got through that recording, because recording even with a band of, I don't care if you're a band of 50 years, not only recording and getting songs right, but to capture, which is something we're still working on, because it includes the room you're in and everything, that whatever. But to capture the art of the live, like like the energy and the vibes and the actual sound, takes time. And the fact that we just met Bugs, so not only like he just to reiterate, just like he said, we met each other, not just met each other as musicians, but as people. So we had to learn each other as people, and then as musicians, and those are 2 different things. And everyone knows that different things carry into playing and then recording, and there's tensions are high, and learning all kind of different things. And we've challenged and grown and challenged each other. And just the fact that, just to finish that thought, just that 5 years ago, like Bug said, we just met him, went to recording, did it here at Dara's house, like ourselves, like, and that we're here all this time longer shows you how serious we are and what we care about and what we mean when it comes to this. Because there's a lot of other people, not just in varying skill levels, but even friendships. I know people that are best friends that are in bands, and I know people who are better than us technically in different instruments who would not even made it at all through that shit or still be here. Or even be putting out quality, because, we want to just be making music, but the truth is we also have great passion, and we all have great skill and ear, and we know that we're making something good. We're not, blowing smoke. Like, we really do know that we're making a great product, and we're doing all these things, and we're making great music, and it's just we know what the end goal is, and they've made me a better man. You know what I'm saying? So it's the same.
Facts, same.
So,
And that's actually why we took a step back in a sense, because we want to go to a studio and record our shit all at the same time. Because the thing about our shows is we're a live energy band. So our album we did with a click track. So like if you remember, I learned the songs in 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and we were playing with the click and did one by one and played when we could, and it has the sound, but we have something.
And when he says click,
home
just to-
studios, studios, it's hard to record everybody at one time as far as the computers processing the information. So we had to do it one by one, and what we're really looking forward to is doing this in a studio.
Organically.
So that's what we were waiting on, and we obviously have the next 2-3 albums already written, but then the pandemic put pretty much a hold on that for a little while. So our next step is that, obviously, the studios and the road, but this conversation is going to be very sentimental to me later on, at the fact that tomorrow is our last jam here. We
That's
had a
like-
little practice tonight, but
we practiced here and shit like that, and we went and did a show. But then, like, after the show, pretty much all the focus was about putting together this album, like, because we'd already planned on doing it, and we were just like, so we started setting our feet forward to go ahead and do this album. And the funniest thing about it, and that's what I'm saying,
we did record a song.
This was like my favorite time period that happened in this house with the band, and that is when we started recording the album. There was so much downtime for everybody that we all had to figure out something else to do. Like, so Todd was doing a lot of the production work, and over time, Bugs started doing a lot more of the production work, and you guys both ended up doing it as well. Tom and I.
Oh my
shit,
gosh!
It's empty.
Get that
It's
out of
empty
here.
for a reason.
There, your
Get
flag.
that out
It's
of
empty
here.
for a reason. I can't see in front of the mic. Tom and I had like
What can I
nothing.
say?
We had nothing but downtime because like I don't deal with any of that. I won't say that I know any of that. I can just tell you what I like once I hear it. And we ended up having to figure out, something to do. And we decided to go take a trip to Sports Authority because we wanted a Nerf basketball hoop that we could play like horse and basketball
That
at the
shit
house.
came so clutch.
And then when we were out at Sports Authority, we found out we couldn't even find one of those little Nerf hoops. So Todd buys a freaking archery set. He gets a bow and arrow set. And then we go to Toys R Us to go pick up the Nerf basketball hoop that we find. And then you guys stumble upon a whole, like this is before Pokemon Go, a whole shit ton of Pokemon cards. And both Todd and Bugs were like all about playing Pokemon.
Yeah, we wasted probably, I think, 2-3 weeks worth of mixing we were supposed to be doing, playing, because we got Nintendo at the same time.
Well, I got a GameCube.
You also got Nintendo.
I got a GameCube.
Yeah, GameCube.
So I was
We became friends. We didn't know each other yet, we became friends.
I think I gave you that game.
it came from Tom Kane. Shout out to Tom Kane.
I bought
love you,
one
bro.
at that time too,
So,
just to have one.
I get a
that's a different
GameCube,
time.
and
Never
we
mind.
ended up playing we played GameCube. We went to
Super Smash.
we went to GameStop and ended up getting as many cheap GameCube games we could have. I got Mario Party for like $15. Which
Some of them were expensive.
That's not even that
dude.
cheap.
No, that's not that cheap. But what happened was fucking 2-3 months later, Mario Party and Super Smash Bros. And all that, and Mario Kart literally skyrocketed on GameCube at GameStop. It was back to $50-$60.
Yeah, something happened, and that's what I'm saying.
And-
when we got all
and
those Pokemon cards, that's when
Pokemon Go broke.
That's when I was like, yo, all these extra Pokemon cards that we don't use in these decks that we play each other, I'm putting them on my fucking drum set. Darren was so scared to
I
do
was
that
so against
because he was like, dude,
Pokemon
people are
cards.
gonna think
Darren
you're a
doesn't wanna be
fucking
known as a
fruitcake
nerd.
or whatever.
Nah,
but
'cause
dude,
y'all are
I got
nerds,
pissed
man.
off
That's what I'm
because
saying.
I'm too cool for
a
this
week
shit.
There's
after
Danny McBride
a week
from
after I got
This
all
Is the
these
End.
stickers
Yeah, you
super
guys are
glued
fucking
on there,
nerds.
a week after Pokemon
right,
Go came
Darren.
out, and I felt like it was like a fucking. I felt like everybody thought that I was going to be copying. Like, no, bitch, I put those Pokemon cards on there before Pokemon Go.
Dude,
and it's
even-
only the original Pokemon.
You know what's funny? It's
The
like-
original 150. And it's actually, hold on, it's a secret code for in the future when we're on the fucking road. If you come to the show with the fucking Pokemon card that I don't have on the set yet, come with us, dude. You could come rage
What a
with us.
challenge! The challenge been set.
So you just got to know which ones I don't have. There's
No
I think
holographics.
30 fixing, 30 missing. And no, I want all the shiny ones. I need the shinies.
Holographics.
Holographics. What were you saying?
No, I thought it was hilarious when we would start going to shows and people would walk up to us, after the set or something like that, and I'd always hear somebody come walking over to you and just be like, bro, are those Pokemon cards on your set? And he'd be like, yeah, bro.
And
they
I would
be
make
like,
sure Dara hears it
Yo,
every time.
Yo, I heard it every time. Somebody would walk over and they'd just be like, bro, are those Pokemon cards? He's like, yo, they are Pokemon cards. And they'd be like, oh. And then these two nerds
And the set
would be,
sounds like shit, but
he
it's
had to
fucking
throw out the
Pokemon cards.
N word there.
So it's
Nerd.
fire.
fucking nerds.
That's what I thought.
These nerds be
what I
sitting there
thought.
back there. Honestly,
Nerds.
I love it. I love it. The fact, like, so I was not into computers. I was not into video games.
You like how he says computers like that makes you a nerd automatically?
It does. It does. 100%
I wasn't
does.
into the science.
I wasn't into books. I wasn't into science. I wasn't into, like, you know what's funny?
wasn't
Like,
into being
Well, you know what's
intelligent
funny?
at all.
He's into birds and shit.
In
Like
other words,
he'll
I'm
talk to
an
you about
idiot.
reeds and birds and like different. But that don't make you a nerd.
What's
but,
the point?
what
but
makes you a
fucking-
nerd?
That's my question to you. You'll sit here and talk about
What is a dork?
cardinals and eagle feathers and shit.
What is a dork?
Nerds, in my opinion, are somebody
dork
who
is a
is
Will's
like
penis.
insanely obsessed on like any specific topic, like
Like you're a nerd about that, yeah.
yeah. So like I could be a nerd
So
about.
just passionate about something.
So we're
Nah, I
we're
say
weed
nerd.
nerds.
I'm using nerd.
She said, I
Nah,
said
it's
nerd.
nerd. It's
We're
just-
weed nerds.
Like people that get geeked up about shit. Like you've heard people say, you know what
Cocaine?
that mean to be
They're-
geeked up. People
they're-
get geeked up about.
they
You
get
could be a
real
nerd.
nerdy
You could
about
be
getting
nerdy
geeked
on
up.
cocaine. You
Yo,
could be a
your red motherfucker's a
you
nerd
could be
for
a nerdy
getting geeked.
cocaine addict.
Jesus.
Geeked
All right,
up
Todd,
ass
so that was a long time for you to fucking think. Do you have a favorite moment?
I don't think he does.
Still thinking.
Oh, real fast. I have one more quick moment just to give you another second time.
Oh,
All right, real quick,
geez.
just something I thought of. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was us forming the band when
Oh,
we were
that's a different band.
sitting there the one time and Dara fell. You remember when his feet fell?
Yo, out
His
of
feet
nowhere.
fell.
Yeah, you remember when
Just
Dara?
tripped
Do you remember
all the way
do you
through
remember,
the
yeah, do you remember
door,
when Dara tried to be
through-
mad cool? Remember when Dara tried to be
Oh,
mad
yeah,
cool?
yeah, yeah,
And he
yeah.
like
I am
he
mad
fell
cool.
and like it was one of those things. So as he fell, he was like and tried to be smooth and he tried to grab stuff and there was nothing and he slowly fell like it was like in the Wicked Witch.
yeah.
It was like Wicked Witch of the West.
Super
in,
That wasn't long
Slow-mo.
ago.
Super
That
it was
wasn't
pretty long,
That was
dude.
like
It
a
was
year ago.
No, dude,
No,
that
it
was like
wasn't.
4 years. That was a long time ago.
Well,
bro.
you fell a couple times then.
Yeah, but the one time I'll talk about is it was like in Wizard of Oz when her feet are sticking out under the building. All I remember is that he fell and we were like, oh shit, and he fell through the door and you see Dara's feet just haphazardly like sticking up in the air, just pointed and shit. I don't know. That was
That's a
funny
common image.
one. Sorry, Todd. There you gotta give you.
The Wizard of Oz vibes.
Remember when Todd was sitting gargoyle on the amp and it fell, but he caught himself.
Oh, there's a good moment. Remember the time? No, well, Bugs wasn't in the band, so it doesn't really count.
Yeah, I don't count. That's what I was saying.
Yeah, it doesn't. What was your favorite moment? In this
My
house?
favorite moment in this house was when our song "Life in a Life" was played on the radio,
Oh, that's a good one.
and how hyped everybody was that it was on the radio, and it just kind of made all the bullshit and arguments that we've had in the past and in the future and the present just kind of worth it.
I
Just
came
how hyped
across
it
that
was.
video recently.
on
We were so
memory.
hyped. It was a
It was a good moment.
good moment. And then my favorite funny moment of mine was when I flagged myself at Dara's house party.
That was actually one of my favorite
And I went
moments
home.
too.
Well, we'll talk about that because after this, fucking the song being played on the radio was because we were playing. What was the Battle of the Bands?
no.
No,
Dara-
our song
Dara-
was on the radio because we were playing for Battle of the Bands, though. In
No, we
Atlantic
just-
City.
They
Nah, so shout out to April from WMGM.
yeah.
She was running this little local spot where she was showcasing local artists and got in contact with her. She actually came out to one of our shows, and yeah, she took one of our tracks and played it on the radio for us, and it was, local airtime on the radio station. That was cool.
We were just picked to play because we're awesome and we're adequate.
Yeah,
You there?
You and this word, we're like
Todd holds the word
Is somebody
adequate
giving
very
you-
high.
Yeah, money to say that?
I ran out. Me and Tom were running into cars trying to get shots of it playing out of different cars. like
I got him on
Podcast
Instagram.
provided
in the
by
2 minutes.
Adequate.
sounds like a medication.
So when did you flag
Adequate
yourself?
medication. Oh my god, can I tell this? Because it was the fucking greatest.
Let him tell it, and then
I
you-
want Dara to tell it to see if he tells it correctly.
No, it
He's
was
gonna
so
tell it
great. So
incorrectly,
like, so we're like playing beer pong right here on this island that we're
Right
sitting at.
here.
Right
Right
Oh, yeah,
here.
this
I
is the
was
Pong-
right here.
This is the Pong table. This,
This
is
is
where
the
we
every
played.
table.
This
all
is
our
not the
Pokemon
Pong
games,
table. This is
all
the
our
Pong
fucking-
Island. Okay.
All our pizzas.
Welcome
everything
to
is done
my island.
on this table.
They actually took this very island from Ireland to get to here.
Facts.
Did they really?
Yeah, they floated here.
That was an adequate fact, Dara.
Ireland and Cuba are the same distance from America, if you didn't know.
Going to
That is a fact.
So Todd and I are playing beer pong. I couldn't even tell you who we were playing against. I'm pretty sure we were playing against Brandon, and not you.
Yeah.
So
People don't know my name.
Not you, Scott. Not you, henchman.
Now they know my name's Brandon.
no,
Your name's William.
I didn't say that.
My name's Kevin.
No, it's not.
I wanted my name to be Kevin when I was
All
little.
right, fuck that story. Tell us.
Todd's like,
He
my turn.
straight up said, "Fuck that
Nobody
story."
cares what your name is.
I wanted the pointy letters.
And we're playing beer pong. And at one point, like, you know, bounce shots or some shit like that happens, and Tacos like smack the ball, smacks the cups. So the cups go falling all over the place, and he's like, what the fuck? I'm flagged. And I was like, no, we're not yet. You're fine. Mistakes happen. It's no big deal. All right, and we're fine. So we continue the game. We lose the game. Todd goes to grab one. The cups fall over the place. He goes, okay, that's it. I'm flagged. And I was like, all right, well, that's fair. He fucking just walks out.
Flags
The
himself.
guy probably drank like 4 or 5 beers that whole night.
Very responsible.
It's probably like one, really, in all
It
honesty.
was probably more like 1.
And he lives in close
When
proximity.
was this, though?
This
was
was
a
years
long
ago. I
time.
used to
It was a
live
long
at my
time
other
ago.
house down the street, so I
Was it?
skateboarded home.
Yeah, bro, this was a long time
You
ago.
long
skateboarded home?
Yeah.
This was like
Childhood
when I think I
days.
was first joined the band.
Oh, that's that T
To the childhood.
Again and again. That's the T-Cal night.
It was?
Yeah.
Well, I want to tell another funny story.
That was an adequate
Least of what I was
rendition of the
like.
story, Jar.
I think, see, that is more of a fair definition of adequate. That was an
I
adequate
don't care.
term.
Adequate is banned from the rest of
Right
this
here,
podcast.
adequate. This is the definition. And we're adequate.
That was an adequate definition.
Fucking this is a funny story. Well, I think it's a funny story. The first time me and you did shrooms here, me, you,
Oh, yeah.
and me, you, and my boy Sean came,
And I did not do shrooms.
and Tom didn't do it, but I wanted Tom to be
adequately
here to
was not
witness what it was like when we were on it, so we knew that
My
we were
hand
not
wasn't
going
broken.
fucking crazy. And my boy Sean brought this fucking zip. What are those called?
A
You bought
slack
a
line.
zit?
No,
a
zip
slack,
line. Slackline.
a slack line, dude. And all I remember is the house. This was like when I first started hanging out with you guys. I only knew you guys for like 5 months at the time, maybe.
Probably.
And it was a really rainy, misty day.
FYI, 5 months is not
And-
enough time to know somebody before you do shrooms with. Just saying.
Oh yeah, it is. Plenty of
That's an
time.
adequate saying.
So when I
Shut
walk
the
from
fuck up.
the tree back there, and I walk over, there was Blue Tech was playing out of the house, and the door was open, and it was hazy, and just the sound, the weather, the whole thing. This is why I say that the house that breathes. I saw the house breathing.
Yeah, that happens on
because
mushrooms.
this fucking I know, but this house with the song and that's when I walked in.
Oh, this
remember,
shit's live.
Remember we had an
This
hour
place is
conversation
live.
about pillows? Do you remember we had an hour convo
So
about
glad
pillows?
I was not here for this
I just
conversation.
remember that we all jammed, and I was definitely high off marijuana.
It was because there was some OCD shit. Like I have OCD with setting pillows up, but your pillows when I walked in were just all over the place. I was like, sometimes pillows just need to be over here.
I don't recall that. That's wild.
You get it if you were there, guys.
I just remember that we all jammed because everyone that was there was a musician, and it was
Oh
fun.
my God, there was a
It
jam
was fun,
session, yeah.
but to be honest, it was not
scared
good.
of music.
It
It
was
was
not good.
not good.
But I just remember
I'm
it was
scared of music when I
I just
trip.
remember it was mad funny. They were all like, "Yo, wow!"
Wow,
like,
did you hear what you did there?
Like it wasn't even that they said it was good. They was just like, "Wow, yeah, bro, wow," and like touch, like looking.
Feel the
We
note.
knew it wasn't
They were
good.
looking at each other in their eyes, and they were like pounding each other, and the fans just like, "Wow, dude, wow, yeah." And I'm just like, "All right,
Get one
dog." And
for
I remember
Tom.
like. It was just so meander. I don't know, but I could like tell that it probably was way more like transcendental to them. There was a moment where it was decent. I remember there was like a second we were hitting and all of us were
No,
grooving.
that's the point of jam improving is to
Nah, I know.
find the spot that you had no idea was there.
I know, but it was just funny because 3 of you were tripping balls, so it was way different for
I was
you three
tripping
than,
really
than it
hard,
was
and it was
me.
funny. And I remember that
It
day.
wasn't that good.
That day, I
I
realized,
remember
like,
it being like it wasn't that good.
No, it was bad, obviously. But I remember that day. I no offense, man. I realized Kevin Hart wasn't funny
It's right there, Tom.
because he was on the TV on mute.
Yeah, the bear has to use
He was
the
on
bear.
the TV. I'm gonna tell this guy to you guys. Kevin Hart, you were on the TV on mute, and I was just looking at you, trying to figure out why are you funny.
You having a conversation
And-
with Kevin Hart?
And then when
the
we turned the
camera?
mute off, bro, or Dara, I don't know how you don't remember this. We unmuted Kevin Hart, and he wasn't funny anymore. He was funnier muted. That's crazy, Kevin. Damn. All right, so those are some funny stories.
We laugh
As-
heavier at
as you
your
guys can
appearance than your actual
This house has clearly had some gnarly, weird shit
You
happen
gonna open
here.
that beer? Or you're just gonna like jerk it off?
And we're saying bye to it. So, guys,
Salud.
let's have a cheers and say bye to this fucking
Can I
guy.
get a bottle opener? Never
No,
mind.
you're fine. Teach them how to do it. How do you open a beer with that?
With what?
That's how you do it.
Well,
That
first
was
off,
so Irish,
first off, you have to be
it's
born
great.
Irish. Salute,
Cheers, guys.
salute.
Goodbye to the house.
It's the only way.
That was an adequate cheers.
Say it, all four of us, ready? Oh, there's four, that's right. You said it.
Not saying it. Not saying it. Not saying it. It's the only
Way.
Yeah.
Just a little fuck, been a trip since then. You
Well,
can
we
ask
can
my
actually
friends,
do
well
that
if you
with
see them,
both
let me know 'cause they were little ducks.
Adequate.
Going out every night, we had a lot of fun. Looking back on it all, that was kinda dumb. Say you only live once, well I'm on to another one. Diamonds are forever, well I'm forever young. Come here, my biddies, show me them titties. Rick James, motherfucker, let's get silly. Used to wanna be center field like Fogarty. Get a load of me.